is here. She wants to give you a kiss.
Shut up, Ma. I'm with my friends.
Hi, Mrs.
Hi,
Krabowitz.
Mrs. Krabowitz.
What are you doing down there that's so important?
Well, you see, to put it simply, Ma, it's time for Talkin' Nerdy, the nerdy talk show where I ask my guests to talk nerdy to me.
Oh, my.
This is DJ Frost, and you are listening to Talking Nerdy, the nerdy talk show where I ask my guests to talk nerdy to me. Oh, yeah. I am joined by DJ Orange.
What's up, everyone?
And DJ Bearman.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
And we are ready to rumble and bring on the nerd.
Oh, yeah. That's what we do.
It's what we do best, in fact.
It's good to be back.
All right, so what are we starting with?
Well,
There's a lot.
How could we ignore the biggest piece of nerdy news that came out over the winter holidays?
Are you referring to?
What am I referring to, you ask?
Yeah. Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
That one?
That one.
The Switch?
The Switch.
Oh my god, yes, the Switch. Now, I feel like this is going to be a very long conversation, and I'm very excited for it. So, I think we should just start with the basics. It is going to be $300.
Yep.
That's an amazing price.
That's a pretty good price.
I cannot complain in the slightest about it. Now, it's also got over 10 launch titles with it right now,
Yeah.
which I'm sure we'll talk about a little later. But to name a few is Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Is Bomberman one of the launch titles, I believe?
I think
The
so.
new Bomberman? Yeah, that's going to be huge.
1-2 Switch.
Yeah, 1-2 Switch. I Am Setsuna, which is a Square Enix JRPG. It's got a solid lineup. Plus, more games coming throughout the entire year,
Such as Super Mario Odyssey.
which is going to be really cool. I think people are hating on it for no reason.
I think that the idea of seeing Mario next to a fully sized, regularly proportioned human is kind of terrifying.
And that's why they're referring it to Sonic 06.
Yeah,
Yeah, that might
a little
be fair.
bit. But anyway, back to the actual Switch stuff. The basics. It's going to come out in 2 colors on launch day. And by 2 colors, it's actually kind of 3 colors because there's gray and then there's a red-blue.
But it's neon blue, neon red.
Yes. Neon blue, neon red Joy-Con. Joy-Cons, by the way, are the official name for the little controllers that slide on and off. The little side wings. The Switch itself comes with the Switch, which is the tablet part. It comes with the dock, which hooks up to your TV, which is the part where you put the Switch in.
Joy-Con remote.
Yep. A Joy-Con remote, which is the thing that holds the Joy-Cons, and obviously 2 Joy-Cons, which are the little handheld bits.
And they said, pass it to a friend and share the joy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be great. Actually, Bomberman is not going to be a launch title, but
That's unfortunate.
it's unfortunate, but it's coming. Coming back after how many years gone away?
A lot.
Yeah.
Not counting remakes.
Yeah.
Really,
Well-
really bad remakes.
One of the
Oh.
biggest draws about the Switch, though, is its portability.
That and the other thing.
This could potentially also be a downfall. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I've heard that there's a 40% drop in frame rate and battery life when you take it out.
I don't know.
I'm actually not sure about the frame rate so much, but I do
No.
know there is a reported drop in frame rate, if I'm correct.
But who's reporting this? People who haven't gotten it. And Nintendo's been really closed lip about it.
Well,
and
not
they haven't-
necessarily. They've been fairly open about some things.
Right.
However, keep in mind there's a lot of a lot of people have been able to play the Switch. A lot of games journalists actually have had hands-on not exclusives, hand-on experiences with
Here's
it.
the thing: if it's a 40% drop, but say it's already at 1080p, which I think it's going to be.
Yeah, it's 1080p in the dock.
So
I mean, yeah, no.
you're not losing much.
No. That's fair in itself.
People are picking this apart because it's threatening the Xbox and the PS4.
yeah.
That's
I-
what it is.
I'd say that's fair, but keep in mind that a 40% drop in battery life doesn't mean that you'll probably have a very good.
Well, you're not using battery when it's plugged into the dock. So
no, but at that point, it's not really a portable console.
Plus, the battery life
Right.
depends on game.
Yes, it definitely does.
That does too. I mean, believe me, I want to take Breath of the Wild with me wherever I go.
From what I can understand, you've got about
3 hours
three to
max.
four 3 to 4 hours when you take it on the go.
That's if you turn down all the brightness and everything of the screen.
I don't know. Maybe that's at full performance. I think there are ways to stretch it. But still, you're taking a gaming system on the go without anything else.
And yeah, that's the other thing, that this is probably, looking on the more positive side of it, that's probably Nintendo's way of showing that they can
Compete with the Vita.
Well,
no.
They won.
They've won.
won.
The Vita is dead in the United States.
Not in Japan.
Not in Japan,
Japan,
but in the U.S.
Japan, it's tied. In Japan, Sony actually has more of a following. It's just not enough to win the 3DS market.
Yeah.
There's been a resurgence in Canada, thanks to one rising superstar. Shout out if you get that reference. Very good streamer.
It's not enough.
No, it's got somewhat of a resurgence.
But it's
it's not enough to hold the Vita together, but it's definitely gotten somewhat of a resurgence.
A little bit, but you're not going to find it here. You're really not.
No, not in America. Not in America.
But that being said, this thing is going to be incredible. I mean, I've got my name on one. The thing with it is people are upset because they sold out almost instantly of pre-orders. What people got to understand, though, with pre-orders is just because you can have an allocation of pre-orders doesn't mean that's all of them you're going to get. They always hold some on the side for people to come in and buy them.
Yeah, see, this is where I kind of do have a bit of a problem with Nintendo. I feel like they're very good. They kind of go back to what they originally started with as like toy makers, where they kind of hold some off to the side, not have a full demand, to kind of create collectability for some of their items, like the NES mini console,
which is now back in stores.
Yeah, there's tons left.
I mean, but the demand from that online did not follow through with the amount that were sent out to stores.
Well, they were never supposed to be a widely distributed product. It was never supposed to be like a console. It was going to be a special holiday item that ended up blowing up.
Because a lot of people like the old games.
Right.
I honestly don't know if I see the point for the virtual console. I mean, I know I'm criticizing and saying like another thing at the same time, but Nintendo's eStore is pretty good.
Nintendo's eStore is amazing,
especially on the Wii.
Right. Well, by the way, the virtual console is the eShop.
Ah.
So
really?
By saying the virtual console, you're saying that what you really like is bad. So the virtual console is the program that emulates all the old Nintendo games on a Nintendo system.
But there's a fixed amount.
No.
There's a fixed amount.
They keep adding them.
They keep adding them.
Well, I think somebody was able to take a look and found that there were more games within the console itself. As of now, they are.
Are you talking about the mini NES or what?
Yes, the mini NES.
Virtual console is on the Wii U, the 3DS, the Wii. That's where virtual console lives. The NES Mini is an emulator in and of itself.
Right, I'm talking about the NES Mini. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah. There's 30 games in there.
Yeah,
90.
No,
30.
Somebody, I think it was 60, and then somebody was able to unlock it and found an extra 30 within the console.
Yeah, but they were left with a nice message of "Please stop hacking." It was great.
I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. What do you guys think?
I think it's totally within Nintendo's right to expect people not to hack their stuff.
Plus, everybody was surprised when the Switch came out and realized that they got rid of one crucial detail, which is region lock can go bye-bye.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad about that. But the thing is that...
No, I mean, this is huge. No other company has done that.
It's that region locks are really annoying, especially if you want to play certain games. Like, I love the Yakuza series. But I can barely get any of the games because region locks.
Yakuza 0 just came out, and that's not region lock.
Yeah, no, I know about that, and I think they're kind of testing the waters a bit to see. I mean, granted, you have Yakuza 5 out, but Yakuza 6 came out, and that's region locked, so that's a whole
right,
fun.
Which Nintendo's doing away with, which is smart. The other thing they're doing, which is really smart, is no more discs, no more things. They're going back to SD
solid
cards.
state.
So I'm very, very happy about that.
And the memory is going to be solid state as well.
Micro.
So the games are going to be on regular sized, I believe, or modified SD cards.
SD.
and you're going to have micro for your storage. And they're already saying you can put up to 2 terabytes in there,
Yeah.
which
Micro.
you're never going to need 2 terabytes, probably. But, I mean, seriously, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, aside from that.
I mean, we're getting a little sidetracked here. There's so much more to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's the whole thing about the new Rumble.
Right. There's also 8-player multiplayer.
Yeah.
You can basically bring 8 Switches together, hook them all up, and play together.
Is that like,
It's the new couch co-op.
God, how many controllers and DSs could you link up to
Smash?
Yeah.
8.
8.
4DS is 4 controllers. Sorry, 4DS is 3 controllers, 1 Wii U pad.
Oh, there you go.
But now you could just hook up 8 Switches together, and everybody gets their own screen. So there's no screen looking. Everybody gets their own thing, and you have to be together. And you can even, have multiple people on one system.
Hey.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's see. What else is there? Oh, yeah. Some of the games that are going to come out soon are going to be amazing for the Switch. I mean, Breath of the Wild. Well, we're going to talk about those in a little while. But
the games, yes.
Yeah.
But as far as hardware is concerned,
the hardware I'll talk about the games in just a moment. The stuff that's inside is really, really great. They've got custom NVIDIA chips and graphics cards.
yeah.
So it's not going to be anything you can buy off the shelf. It's going to be proprietary to NVIDIA and Nintendo, which is going to be awesome. Like, so awesome.
So what do you think of the, this is kind of partial to the hardware. I'm actually for this. Nintendo is talking about a subscription fee for online.
I'm fine with it. You know why?
I agree.
You know why?
It's probably going to be less than the Xbox and PlayStation.
Oh, it is guaranteed. I think they said $5 a month.
See, the thing with this is that after the disaster a couple of years ago with Sony, where
Sony upped it.
Yeah, they did.
But for the record, both Sony and Microsoft charge about $10 a month without buying more at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people go for the 12-month, which is insane.
Like $70 or $80. But you're saving $40 on that. But what people are, complaining about is that it's going to be charged, but what they should realize is it's not going to be charged until the fall.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a bunch of time to get acclimated to the online system. And who knows, maybe they'll decide, you know what? We won't charge. It's just something they're planning. It hasn't been implemented yet.
I think the charge makes sense.
It does. I mean, servers are expensive.
Yeah.
Well,
and
now
it means more protection.
Right.
Because that was a very big problem with Sony's free system, and I love the idea of a free online service.
Right.
But it has problems.
Nintendo's been doing
security, namely.
Not really. Nintendo's been really secure. There's not ever been a breach at Nintendo.
No, old Nintendo's consoles have been running out of Linux.
A modified Linux. It's proprietary again. But anyway, besides all that, I have no problem with it personally. I think it's going to be half the price if they decide to go with it. And for what you're going to get, this leads right into the games, it'll be worth it. So,
yeah.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, meaning it's going to have all the DLC from Mario Kart 8 from the Wii U, all the original courses. It's going to be higher quality, plus new characters and courses.
All right.
It's going to be insane.
They brought back battle mode.
They did. They added battle mode. Remember battle mode from the N64?
Oh, yeah.
That's back.
I'm happy for that.
The other thing that's coming is Splatoon 2. Splatoon 1 was friggin' amazing. I loved Splatoon. One of the most surprisingly addicting games you will ever play.
Yes, it
I
was.
promise you that. And it's going to be amazing. So that's going to be something worth the online play.
What I've heard, the trailer painted a very dark picture of what happened in this city, Squid City.
It's been 2 years.
I doubt anything that bad has happened.
No, it's like one of the sisters is missing. Like there's real plot to it.
No, yeah, there was always plot to Splatoon. The single player was absolutely amazing. It was a unique take on platformers. And Splatoon 2, I'm excited for it. But there's more I got to talk about. Like Skyrim.
Not officially confirmed yet.
No,
it
it's
has
confirmed. Been. It was confirmed in the trailer. It's been confirmed since the day they released information on the Switch.
Really? Because I've heard they've been going like kind of back and forth on it.
No, it was in the presentation that I watched, and they said, yes, it's on the Switch.
Bethesda is an official partner of Nintendo right now.
Oh,
yeah, I'm looking at their website right now, Bearman, and Skyrim is in giant bold letters right in front of my face.
All right.
They will be getting Bethesda games from now on. They're also getting the NBA games and the FIFA games. They're getting all of the stuff that the Xbox and PlayStation have that's been making them attractive to people. And they're getting it.
Yeah.
Plus all the Nintendo exclusives, which have held the people's attention for Nintendo.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. And the best part about all of this is that they said the 3DS will continue.
Yep.
They are separate. The Wii and the Wii U is the Wii system that's separate. The 3DS is separate. The Switch is separate. They are all separate. So it's going to be very exciting.
Especially since the new 3DS game's coming out.
Right. We will get to those.
I'd like to point out that I really want an amiibo of Link from the Faces of Evil game for the Philips CDI.
No.
I don't know if anyone else remembers that.
Bearman, the door's behind you. Please leave.
Oh, come on.
No.
Those games were great.
No. And with that, we're going to take a little bit of a break. Just no, Bearman, no.
No.
Where do they place in the timeline, huh?
They don't.
No.
Anyway, I'm cutting Bearman off, and I'm cutting Orange off. Not that he's saying anything disastrous. Anyway, see you in just a few. This is DJ Frost, and you are listening to Talkin' Nerdy, the nerdy talk show where I ask my guests to talk nerdy to me. I'm with DJ Orange and DJ Bearman as per the usual, and we're talking shop, and we're having a grand old time because we are covering all of the excitement that happened during the winter break months.
Which was a lot.
Mm-hmm. We just finished talking about the Switch, and we're going to keep talking about it, but in a different way.
Games.
Specifically one game. Specifically Nintendo's pretty much all-star at this point, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Oh my god, yes. That's all I'm going to say. The moment that we were able to, I went to our local favorite store, Bull Moose. Shout out to them, because I can. Not really. Anyway, I went to them, pre-ordered the Switch, pre-ordered Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and pre-ordered all 5 amiibos that they are releasing for Breath of the Wild. Let me just nerd out on this for a bunch.
All right, go ahead.
Voice acted, except for Link, of course.
Except for Link.
Fully voice acted.
Yeah.
Gorgeous quality. Amazing gameplay. I mean, this is going to be an amazing game. It's bigger than Skyrim, by the way.
It is.
The map is bigger than Skyrim. Yeah.
Legend of Zelda meets Skyrim.
Yeah. There's a few interesting theories going around about it, too.
Yeah, I know. I've heard many.
I'm not going to touch into them because we don't like to touch in on unconfirmed stuff. But what we can tell you is that it is an open-world Legend of Zelda game, which is insane. I mean, I can't even get over this.
Especially the villains.
Oh, my God. The villains are like robo-magic things. And this takes place apparently 100 years after something.
After something.
Which goes back to where it is.
And you have Ganon, but his name is now Calamity Ganon.
Yeah, there's some craziness going on. They haven't released much about it because, well, that would...
All we're going by is by the trailer.
The trailers.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tame wild animals. The amiibos do a lot of fun stuff, and they pertain mostly to cooking. Cooking is now in the game, and it gives you unique buffs and things like that.
Staying warm during winter areas.
Yeah, you can get warm protection, much like a hot drink in Monster Hunter. In the snowy area, you can get, I think, cold heat resistance in the hot lava areas and the mountainous. You can just get attack buffs, I believe. They've showed all kinds of craziness.
Probably water breathing too.
I imagine that there's a lot of cool stuff. But the thing that the amiibos do is, actually, we don't know what the Breath of the Wild amiibos do yet.
Not yet.
Nothing on those. But the Legend of Zelda amiibos that they released in December, Ocarina of Time Link will give you meat, a random amount of meat ingredients. Toon Link from the dual pack with Toon Zelda will give you a bunch of fish. Toon Zelda will give you a bunch of plants. And 8-Bit Link will give you barrels, which may contain who knows what. Rupees and cool things like that. Wolf Link amiibo, the one that came with Twilight Princess HD will, after you beat Twilight Princess and go through the Cave of Trials, or whatever they change that into, you can tap in Wolf Link, and Wolf Link will follow you around with the amount of hearts you had at the end of the trial. Right. So you get a companion. And, I'm so excited for this game. The trailer, and the Master Sword is confirmed to be there.
Yeah.
Zelda is confirmed to be there.
Somewhere.
Well,
yeah.
She's part of the plot. She is. And alternate ending.
Ooh.
Alternate ending.
Wow, that's something.
There's not much information on it, but it exists. Yeah, I mean, you're pretty silent over there, Bearman. Are you just...
I'm contemplating.
Plus all the races.
Right.
At this point, I'm wondering what exactly this is going to mean for Zelda as a franchise, because this could either be a very bold step in a new direction.
I'm thinking they're changing it into an actual RPG.
Yeah.
Well, it's always for the record, it's always been an RPG. It has always been an action RPG. It hasn't changed much in that regard. It will still be an action RPG.
I'm wondering if this might be the end of the cycle, so to speak.
Doubt it. This game is, first of all, the people who have played it, they haven't even played all of it.
They've only played 2% of it.
Yeah. They had a demo of it at the Nintendo store in New York City for like a few days or something, and 2% of it was all they allowed people to play.
Right,
and it was still
huge.
It was huge.
No, when I mean end of the cycle, I mean, is it the end of the Ganondorf cycle? Are they going to move on to newer villains?
We have no idea. It depends on how the game ends.
Well, the main villain is called Calamity Ganon.
Yeah.
Yes,
which leads itself to... This is why I think it's going to take place after Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
Sometime in that timeline. Because in the other timeline, Ganon is dead. He's just straight up dead. And in the Wind Waker timeline, he is also dead. Or at least imprisoned in a place where there's no way he's ever getting back from.
Yeah, that's right. Ganon's pretty much gone in all timelines.
Except for one. Which is why I believe he's in this one. But at the same time, the robots lend themselves to something else. Something else. I don't know. It's going to be awesome.
Because of the trailer, we know it's 100 years.
At least.
That he wakes up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Cryopod.
It's
Link's Cryopod.
We really don't know.
No, but I mean, we could speculate.
Yeah, it's probably something similar to Nehru's crystal, which was how he kind of was held in stasis during the 7 years.
Right.
Between Ocarina of Time child and adult. So, there's that. It's killing me talking about it, but making me very excited at the same time, because I want this game now, but I gotta wait till March 3rd.
Yes.
Well, it's not that far away.
Let me rephrase. It's 2 months away.
Yeah, but considering where we were, remember when we were just speculating back on the Switch back a month ago?
You mean the NX?
A couple months ago.
Yeah,
back when it was the NX. Which, honestly, I kind of like better as a title, but I'm okay with the Switch.
Well, the Switch makes perfect sense. You can switch it from mobile mode to TV mode.
Tabletop mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the NX, though, that's cool.
It's a good code name, but... I mean... Oh, something I forgot to mention about the Switch. You can buy an extra dock and hook it up to a different TV.
So you can...
the dock is not that expensive. It's like $30 or $40.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So you can basically hook up a dock to each of your TVs. Oh, my significant other wants to use the TV down here. No big deal. I'll just take my Switch with me, put it in the other room, and go. Or just keep it in the mobile form. Who cares?
Not to mention you can plug it in and also still play.
Yeah. It comes with a charger, so it's not like if you take it on the go, you're out of power in 3 hours. You can just
plug it in.
Plug it in and keep going. So, I think this is going to be one of the best things that Nintendo's ever done. Plus, the games are just incredible.
They took everything that they liked from all the other consoles and put it into the Switch.
Pretty much. It's the console that they need to compete with everything. I mean, the amount of noise it's made is I don't think I've heard a single thing about PlayStation or Xbox in the past month.
Well, I have, but that's because they got they're trying to think up their next console.
They're basically panic mode right now.
Not necessarily. I think they're trying to focus mainly on VR. Not that they don't see the NX as a threat. I mean, obviously,
PlayStation
Switch. Obviously, you would. I mean, that's
Except Nintendo's already done 3D.
yes, but
not VR.
still, it's
PlayStation
VR.
PSVR is doing fairly well in Japan, at least.
It's doing pretty well in America too. I mean, granted, it's become less gimmicky as time has gone on. You can see that there are games that are specifically made for VR, but
Right.
play without
It's
them.
still
Resident Evil 7, for example.
it's still pretty gimmicky.
I mean,
It's
games are being built
Yeah.
around the concept of VR play now,
Unf-
not rather
yeah.
like, hey, this is a little cool 2-hour experience where you can mess
Right.
around virtual reality.
I mean, unfortunately, they've got really stiff competition in that VR with HTC and Samsung.
yeah,
So
Oculus Rift.
yeah. So there's that. So we'll see where that goes. But in terms of pure console, like Nintendo has just brought it.
yeah, it's definitely a strong. It was very strong presentation,
And it keeps growing.
they've been quiet. Xbox and PlayStation. I think they recognize that it's kind of
It's fruitless to do it right now.
as of right now. Yeah, it's better to wait till the Switch comes out or a little bit beforehand before you start making your big announcements, because you're not going to win against much publicity.
There's nothing they can do in the next month or two while the Switch is before it comes out and after it comes out that they can do to draw attention away. There's too much hype about Zelda and the Switch and all the other games coming to it.
And all the other third parties as well.
Exactly.
Now, third-party games, that's where it worries me.
No. The partners they've chosen include Square Enix, which they've always had, but Square is starting to migrate more to Nintendo than PlayStation.
Yeah, they are.
Because PlayStation has not treated them well.
Nope.
You can understand my not my skepticism, but my
Your caution.
I'm caution about this because Nintendo has not had the best track record with third-party developers.
They
in the
have,
past.
they have, and they haven't. So their best games are either first or second party developers. First party being themselves, second party being developers who are exclusively signed on with them, such as Game Freak and
Sega.
no, Sega is not.
Really?
No.
Sega's third party.
Sega is third party.
Ooh, that stinks.
Whoever makes Fire Emblem, they're I think pretty much second. Yeah, they're second party to Nintendo.
Yeah.
Anyway, that being said, the third party they've lined up for the Switch is nuts.
Oh,
so
yeah.
the reason Nintendo's always been such a family friendly company
Atlas.
is Atlas. Yeah,
third party.
they are third party. They're also more of a localizer anyway. Anyway, the reason they've always been popular is because they let other companies develop for their system, not without restriction, but freely, so that, they can get their games on and people who have younger kids can play like the Barbie game or the Little Pony game or whatever, right? But they've also got a very, very strong first and second party developing team. So they've always had that dichotomy where there's a lot of games that come out for some of their systems and the gems are like the best thing ever and the rest is kind of the dirt.
Yeah, I agree. It's just with the Wii in particular, most of my memories of seeing Wii games in stores were, seeing the dirt. The classics
there were
are
a few
there.
gems.
There
Well-
were a few gems, but there was a lot of dirt.
The reason you saw the dirt is because of secondhand retailers.
Yeah.
They oftentimes just put it out because they got to move it. Having worked for one of those secondhand retailers, I can tell you it just doesn't move. It does not move, and that's fine because they were never really... they're the kind of games that you buy at a large store that doesn't specialize in electronics.
No, I went to a
CVS
once. And they had
Right.
like Hot Wheels racing for the Wii.
Right. The Wii was kind of their mistake. The Wii U, they cut back on that.
Yeah, and
The
I
Switch, they're cutting back even more, it looks like.
which is good. I'm cautiously optimistic, but like secretly incredibly excited. So
Yeah.
I'm a whole cocktail of emotions. Right
You're
now.
just kind of filling in. You're just going in circles.
I'm making figure eights, I should say.
Well, good. That fits in with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yeah, there we go.
No,
Yes, it
but
does.
in all seriousness, some of the partners they have, they are incredible. They've got Square, they've got Bethesda, they've got Tokyo RPG Factory. I think Kojima has jumped on with the Switch.
Yeah.
Really?
I think so.
Death Stranding for the Switch.
I'm not ruling it out. It hasn't been confirmed, but
That's a-
Gecko's also there.
That's pretty heavy.
yeah, they've got some really great. I mean, Ubisoft, but they're always kind of there.
I have heard rumors of a Nintendo VR device, but those are not confirmed.
I doubt it, just because they're going to focus on the Switch first.
Yeah.
Well, this is a peripheral to the Switch.
I don't know about that. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, oh well, we have the 3DS, which has been doing 3D for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, let's take a quick 2-minute break or something like that. And then we will come back with some more stuff. I don't know. See you in a minute. This is DJ Frost, and you are listening to Talkin' Nerdy, the nerdy talk show where I ask my guests to talk nerdy to me. But, in a clean, family-friendly way, because that's just who we are here on Talkin' Nerdy. I'm with DJ Orange and DJ Bearman, of course, and we're just having fun, talking.
Yeah. So more Switch news?
More Switch news. Well,
Actually, it was more like
more Nintendo second-party news.
Yeah.
So, Fire Emblem. Both Orange and I are huge fans of the series, of the franchise,
Yeah.
I guess is the better way to call it. And they delivered.
Oh, yes, they did.
Nintendo had their first ever Fire Emblem Direct. So Nintendo Directs are where they take products or a specific franchise and talk about it for like an hour or so.
Right.
This was an hour.
Yeah, usually an hour. They had a Switch Direct. They have 3DS Directs all the time. Wii U Directs when that was still a thing. They've also got Legend of Zelda Directs. They have Animal Crossing Directs for whatever reason. I mean, there's probably a good reason when they
And
do it.
now there's a Fire Emblem one.
And their first ever Fire Emblem Direct happened. And with that, they confirmed not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 new Fire Emblem franchise games.
Huh.
4. One comes out in about a week. Actually, exactly a week.
Exactly a week.
It is an app game called Fire Emblem Heroes. And it's amazing. It looks incredible.
Yeah, Nintendo's
It's
really killing it with the apps recently.
They are. Actually, more on that. Mario Run is coming out in later March for the Android.
For the Android, but it's already on.
It's already on the iPhone, and it's kicking butt.
It is kicking butt.
I'm kind of stealing this joke, but I really love the craziness of Sonic Jump and Mario Run.
Yeah. Anyway, going back, Fire Emblem Heroes is going to be a free-to-play app. So it's not $10 or whatever they're charging for Mario Run. But Mario Run is a full-fledged Mario game.
Yeah.
I'm throwing that out there. But this is going to be amazing. It's basically Fire Emblem on your phone with microtransactions if you want to buy whatever gems and stuff.
But
I think
you can also get them in game,
which you can get in game anyway. And there's a campaign and everything. And the idea is that you gather your heroes from all across every game they've ever made so far.
which is saying a lot.
Which is saying something, which I'll get to in a minute. And you can pick and choose your favorite team with your favorite heroes from all of the Fire Emblem games. And this is just making me so happy right now. I'm just loving it. I mean, they're having a thing right now where you can pick your heroes.
And then they vote.
Yeah, and it's a vote. Ike is winning hard. There's nothing else to say besides Ike.
So is
Gold
Crom.
Sword.
Crom is only in 4th place, actually, unfortunately. Anyway, yeah, Ike is super winning in that. But that's irrelevant. And basically, anybody who votes gets 200 coins for My Nintendo and something else when the game launches.
Yeah.
Which is sweet. I'm super happy about it. I've so far chosen, Ephraim from the Sacred Stones. I chose Lucina from Fire Emblem Awakening and Sakura from Fire Emblem Fates because I really like Sakura.
I've chosen a few. I've chosen Crom, I've chosen a few others, and I've also chosen Sovereign from Dawn.
Ah, yeah. I'm going to... Actually, I think tomorrow's pick is going to be Micaiah. I really like Micaiah. People hate on her for some reason, but I like her.
Especially since if it's going to be the Sovereign from one game or from the other game, because in the first game, he was Sage level. In the second game, he was Arch Sage.
Yes.
I got
Yes, he was.
Quick question.
Sure.
What exactly is the continuity of Fire Emblem? Is it all in separate universes, one
It's-
timeline, or...
It's all together, but
It's
it's
wibbly
separate
wobbly.
timelines.
It's kind of wibbly wobbly,
weird.
timey-wimey. I hate to use a Doctor Who thing, but it is. Basically, they are connected, but
There's different dimensions.
it's kind of, dimensional as well. It's not...
It's in the same
It makes
universe
sense.
as Fire Emblem, but there's sub-dimensions inside of them.
Yeah.
So, Gundam.
No, way better than that in this case. Because there's no bad dimensions.
Fair. What bad Gundam dimension are you referring to?
Was it Unicorn? No, Unicorn was okay. Destiny.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the Chibi one.
Well, that too. SD.
I like that.
SD Gundam. Anyway, that's highly irrelevant to my topic that I brought up.
Sorry.
But we're really good at sidetracking here on Talking Nerdy.
Plus, you got the 2 Switch games.
Right. I will get to those in a minute after I finish talking about this. So anyway, the basic story is it's awesome. I'm really excited for Heroes, the app game. The second thing they introduced was Fire Emblem Warriors, which is going to be a Dynasty Warriors game with Fire Emblem Heroes. Much like they did Hyrule Warriors for the Zelda franchise, they're doing that with the Fire Emblem franchise as well.
On the Switch and also the 3DS.
Yes, it'll be, I think, Switch first, then 3DS, similar to what they did with Hyrule Warriors, which is going to be awesome. Another game where I can play with my favorite heroes in a really fun play style. I love the Dynasty Warrior games. Actually, that's another thing that might be coming to the Switch, is just Dynasty Warriors.
I'm wondering if Berserk Muso's going to go on there.
Maybe. Koei Tecmo is one of their official partners.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it is one of their partners for the Switch. Anyway, but the biggest news, the 2 pieces of biggest news they announced was a Fire Emblem main series game for the Switch, which is insane.
Hasn't happened since Radiant Dawn.
It has not happened since the Wii and Radiant Dawn. And oh my god, I'm so excited for it. I don't know what it's going to be. It's going to be brand new characters, new everything. And I'm just so excited for it.
Plus, you got the other one.
Right, and then the other one is a 3DS game, which shows that they are not done with 3DS by any means, is Fire Emblem Echoes, which is a remake of Fire Emblem 2.
Which only came out in Japan.
And boy, is it looking great. It's got a similar graphic style to Fates, which is not a bad thing. Not at all. And it's going to have some a little bit different mechanics in it from what they've hinted at.
It's basically dungeon strolling.
A little bit. It's going to have the story still. Going to have the story. It's going to have... I think it's going to have a bit more freeform fight, though. More of a freeform fighting
Like you
style.
wander into a dungeon, you see an enemy, and then it goes into the Fire Emblem mode.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how it's going to go. I'm not really sure how they're going to pull it off, but I know they're releasing 2 amiibos with it. They look really cool. It's going to be Alm and Celica, which are 2 long-standing big names in the franchise.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm just so happy because I personally love Fire Emblem. It's one of my favorite franchises, and I own every game that they've put out in the United States.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's like...
Some of them were very, very hard to track down, like Path of Radiance on the GameCube. Oh boy, that was a 2-year-long search.
Yeah, it's like fighting it on eBay's faster.
Yeah, but it'll cost you.
Exactly.
See, I was lucky enough to find it at a GameStop when they still sold GameCube games, and it turned out to be like $15.
Yeah.
But now to get it is like $60, $70.
$100 on eBay.
Yeah,
Mint condition.
right. The other thing that I have that is impossible to get now is Shadow Dragon, the remake of the first Fire Emblem that they put on the DS.
That game is hard to find.
That game is nigh impossible to find. If you buy it in a GameStop, it's like $50, maybe more. It's up there with the Pokemon games. That's how hard it is to find. So, I have a pretty impressive collection of the Fire Emblem games, and I love them. I have probably more hours in the Fire Emblem series overall than I do in... Well, almost as many as I do in Pokemon. Definitely. More than I have in Skyrim, though, which is impressive because I've got 300 and something hours in Skyrim.
Especially since the newer games where you had to, have to get all the endings.
Right, exactly. I wanted all the endings.
Which is a long, long time.
A very long time. And by endings, I think you mean the support conversations?
Yeah, but that's both male and female.
Right. So, that is like 1,000 playthroughs. Something like that.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's not really 1,000, but it's a lot. Anyway, so that's how big of a fan I am at this Fire Emblem thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. It seems like a very interesting franchise. It's just that the subdimensions thing is kind of...
It's like chess.
Yeah, no, I know that.
I think he's talking more about the lore of the subdimensions.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me. It's also incredibly hard to keep track to follow my favorite dimensions.
Well, it's not really a dimensional thing because I believe
It doesn't become a dimensional thing until after Shadow Dragon.
Yeah, no, I think it becomes a dimensional thing. Like Awakening's the first time they mentioned that there was a dimensional thing.
Ah.
And in Fates they mentioned that
there's 3 separate worlds.
There's 3 countries.
Yeah.
Which we're not talking about because that would be super spoilers. But they acknowledge the existence of the Halidom of Elise, which is from Awakening, but that's ancient lore to them.
Yeah.
They also acknowledge Magvellian lore, which is sacred stones. They acknowledge all these other continents. So it's unclear whether the world just keeps changing and tech doesn't improve because they don't need it because magic, or what. But there's no necessary there's not a necessary continuity.
No.
Each game, unless it has a direct sequel like Path of Radiance into Radiant Dawn, there's no need for continuity.
It doesn't help the fact when you get link up with people and have support and then marry them and then your kid grows up in another dimension.
Right. Well, they did that so that they could keep the kid thing going. They did it well with Fire Emblem Awakening because of technically spoilers. I can't really go into that. Well, I guess time travel was one of the big draws of it anyway. There's time travel in there, which isn't really dimensional. It's time travel.
Yeah.
Which is an alternate timeline thing. And with Fates, they did it with other dimensions, but it's established that those other dimensions aren't the main timeline where all the heroes are coming from.
Huh.
So it gets confusing.
It's basically like there's parallel dimensions which weird things can happen, or sometimes they're just normal dimensions that happen to exist where time travel's a lot faster. So there's those possibilities. There's also I don't really know how to put it. It's basically you can summon heroes of old using cards.
Yeah.
Einherjar, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm probably butchering it, but
Card collection mechanic?
No,
you could summon them as cards.
It's basically if you get some of the DLC, and even if you don't, you can doing side missions get the heroes
of
collecting,
Awakening and Marth.
I mean, of past games, just in general. By defeating them in battle, then they join as a non-conversational unit. You can use them, but they're not going to have supports with anybody.
No.
It's just kind of a, wow, I have this guy in my team. He's really cool. I never really utilize them because I usually build up the characters that are native to the game. It's just the way I prefer to do things. But Fates actually was a really interesting thing because they had 3 different versions. Like Pokemon does have versions, but which had different characters in 2 of them, and then one game, the final one, where you got to have all of them except for 2. But the 2 that you don't get are to be expected. They had to reserve at least one from each side for reasons.
Yeah.
So you got all. They did a very good job with that, and I don't see them doing that again for the Switch version because it wouldn't make sense. They might, and they're not doing it for Echoes. I know that much. So it's an interesting mechanic they might bring back at some point.
Echoes is a remaking of the second game.
Right, so there's not going to be multiple versions of it.
No.
Anyway, let us take another quick break. I know it's getting It's getting long when we talk on and on and on, but boy, I'm just so happy about this. Anyway, see you in a bit. This is DJ Frost, and you're listening to Talkin' Nerdy, the nerdy talk show where I ask my guests to talkin' nerdy to me. But, clean and family-friendly, the way we do.
Yes.
So, I have been dominating the conversation, and I feel a little bad about that. What would you guys like to talk about?
Resident Evil 7 came out.
It did.
Yeah. It's a lot of people are saying that it's a game that felt like it was meant to be played in VR, but you can play it without.
See, the VR thing kind of bugs me because I'd probably get a headache pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but which is completely fair, but on the other end of the spectrum, it's kind of like, do you need to play something in the way that it was intended to, or can you enjoy it on its own regardless? This was intended to be played with VR.
Ah.
So,
I mean, my biggest issue with that is that it was intended for something else, but didn't fully develop it for the other things. So,
I mean, it works perfectly fine.
I'm sure it works, but it feels like something's missing if you play it not in VR, I bet.
Yeah, it definitely adds to the perspective. I think that horror games in general do well with first-person settings.
Especially the newest horror game that just recently came out.
Oh, which was...
Tattletale.
I haven't heard of that.
I have not heard much about it.
Ugh.
Go into more detail. I'm interested.
Well, you know about Furby, right?
Oh, that game.
Furbies?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's right. I've heard some really creepy things.
Do go on.
So you get a Furby. It knows things.
Oh, really?
Its name is Mama. It's scary.
In this universe, it's a version of Furby, but it's called Tattletale, and it eats real food, and you have to protect it from Mama, who wants it back, and anything that gets in a way goes away.
Let's put it that way. It goes away.
Okay. That's not good.
No, it is not.
And the last thing you have to do is do a ritual to banish Mama.
Yeah, and just when I thought Furbies were finally gone.
Yeah, they're right back.
Yep.
And now they're going to advertise them purposefully creepy.
I'm not okay with this, I don't think.
I mean, after Five Nights at Freddy's, I can't, take my nephew to a Chuck E. Cheese anymore. I get freaked out.
Well, yeah, but Chuck E. Cheese is kind of creepy anyway.
Right?
No, yeah. But Tattletale's like... The whole premise is opening your Christmas presents early.
No.
And surviving.
Well, yeah.
I mean...
Anyway.
They're... I guess we can add Furbies to the list of things that get...
Furbies were always creepy. I'm not even going to hear any of this.
All right, fair. But, I mean, now they're intentionally creepy.
Wish is about time. They should have just marketed it as that creepy toy anyway.
Well, I know Trolls are back.
Yeah, and they're making a movie out of it.
No, they made a movie.
Okay, they made a movie out of it. I bet you we could spend a full 3 hours talking about bad movies about toys. I don't want to.
Or good movies about toys.
Well,
what?
Not counting Toy Story and
right.
Command. What was that one?
Lego Batman.
Yeah.
Oh, that is something I saw. That is going to be a very good movie. Is Will Arnett still playing Batman?
Yes.
I believe so, and also Michael Cera as Robin.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very good movie. I know that.
The only thing I don't like about it is Chevrolet decided to put a add-in thing.
They put product placement?
Batmobile.
Yeah.
Chevrolet Batmobile.
I wouldn't buy a Chevrolet
out of
Batmobile.
Legos. It's like
I would not.
All right, so what do you guys think of the trend of appealing to nerd culture by doing voice in?
You mean the overdubs?
Yeah, the overdubs.
I think
No.
they need to stop.
I love it.
Just stop. Stop. They're not appealing to us. They're just making us hate them.
No, not to me. See, we're finally at a place where nerd culture is so accepted that car companies will advertise directly to us.
But redubbing
See, I hate
Old
advertising.
things.
I just hate advertising in general. So when the fact that they're trying to make me like it by putting my interest into it makes me hate them more for it.
The
So think
anime
about that.
community is up
We're not
in
the
arms.
niche market anymore.
No, we're not, and that's fine. But at the same time, at least respect us. Don't try to use cheap tricks.
I think it is respectful in a way.
No,
I mean,
no.
Granted, it's hard to take certain things seriously when
No.
Goku's talking about a Chevy, but that's the comedy in it. And for the most part, they get the original voice actors, which not the Japanese voice actors,
Right,
but
but
the English version, which I appreciate that attention to detail.
right, that's fine. But the fact of the matter is, they're trying to use our favorite characters to sell us stuff.
I mean,
And that's not
we're
why
old
we
enough
like-
at this point that we can tell, but I just think it's
Right.
cool
What
that
about
we're
the
being-
kids? What about the kids who are just
Who are
getting?
what kid's gonna buy a Toyota?
I don't think.
I mean,
I'm
most of these things are being marketed to adults.
If you want to see product placement and all that stuff, go to the new Final Fantasy that just came out.
Yeah, that's true. That
Cup
ramen,
noodles.
Couple noodles.
Cup noodles.
the cup noodles.
Cup of noodles. Apparently, in Final Fantasy 15, there are so many different endings, and a lot of them are bad, but you control them
Yeah.
by doing certain things. So getting cup of noodles in the ending, and apparently the ending was just kind of meh for Final Fantasy 15 anyway.
I've heard that Final Fantasy 15 was amazing. There's just a couple of problems here and there with there's some story gaps that you need to watch too. One
Yeah.
movie's apparently okay, the other one's not that good. I don't know. But
I think they did better with the actual prequel movie than they actually,
Did with the game.
Yeah.
oh, that's an interesting opinion.
I think you might be right on that.
See,
Not to say that the game was bad. It's just that they did a better job.
Now, the interesting thing here is that they're actually going back. They're doing a full patch, which will fill in story gaps. So this has created kind of a weird dilemma where game developers can go back and fix story mistakes or just kind of tweak games.
Fans just want the
post-release.
game and fixed it right.
They basically Square already delayed the game by 2 months.
But that's because of PlayStation.
No, they did it because it was not going to be a complete game.
Yeah.
So Square delayed it. And then when they finally released it, people were probably thinking, all right, this is going to be a complete game, except for the bits of missing
It
story.
was a 75% complete game, from what I've heard most people say.
Which,
Well, they got pressured by PlayStation.
I've yet to play it
Which-
myself,
yeah.
and that's mainly because I want to play the patched version.
right.
Um,
And this is part of the reason why I think Square is moving away from PlayStation.
Yeah, they're going to Nintendo.
Square and Nintendo have had a very strong relationship in the past few years.
Especially their game that actually is based on the Four Heroes legend.
No,
Right.
I disagree with them moving away from PlayStation. I think that they're going to still maintain contact with Sony. I doubt
I didn't say they're going to cut ties. I'm saying they're moving away from having exclusives with them because Sony. The same thing happened with No Man's Sky, and I don't mean to bring up a really bad dead game, but I'm
Especially
going
since
to.
they just recently came out and say, here's the unboxing. I'm like, nobody wants it.
No, nobody wants it.
nobody.
They added a bunch of features to it, but it's not enough. Sony puts a lot of undue pressure on developers to force the games out when they want them out because it's best for their sales, not best for the consumer who's buying the game.
I know.
and
granted,
that's
it's
why-
not on an EA level, but
No, EA. Well, EA does it to themselves.
yeah.
Let's be clear about that. Sony is pressuring the developers to do this, whereas Nintendo understands the quality of a good game. From what I can tell, they've never rushed out a game, and I felt that it was incomplete.
And if they did find things, they would let you know that there's a patch.
Right. The only games that I've ever found incomplete were games with confirmed sequels, like Bravely Default. Actually, Bravely Default is a really bad example because it was a complete game that didn't need a sequel. It got one, and it's gonna get a third.
Yep.
And that's an example of Square doing it right. So it's a really mixed bag, and I was so excited for Final Fantasy 15, and I'm disappointed to hear that it was only 75% complete on release.
Yep.
Yeah, but the patch will probably
Right, but the
bump it
point
back
is,
up. And it's a free patch too.
oh, of course,
And
that's
how much gigs?
right.
I mean, probably the intended amount for what Final Fantasy 15 would be in the first place.
the difference is with patches, you're adding data. When you have a complete game, it cuts that data down a bit because it's already built in. You don't have to add stuff to make the patch work. So
that's fair. But also, are you doing the same thing by making your audience have to see 2 different movies to understand what the plot is?
That, I think, is flavor.
It's story.
It shouldn't be
when
plot
it's
essential.
cut out of the middle. When it's cut out of the middle, when this could very easily be cutscenes in a game.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And this is Square Enix. They're pretty They're the cutscene.
The reason they probably did it was because of the pressure of the timeline. Is my guess. If they had done it as a prequel thing, that would have been better. But
there is a prequel. It's
right. They've got
like a cell phone game.
No, that's a different adventure. Brave Exvius is just a separate adventure.
Kingsglaive is actually the movie.
Yeah,
Kingsglaive.
No,
there's Kingsglaive and there's a animated feature.
There's an anime that's the prequel. Brotherhood, Final Fantasy 15 Brotherhood.
Yeah.
But regardless, as a consumer, I don't want to buy an incomplete game. That is my major point here. I don't want to go to the store and buy a game, get it home, and find out it's only 75% done.
Yeah, I'll agree with you that
look what happened to Metal Gear.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, let's not talk about Metal Gear because it's just sad.
No, that's a I mean, that's a perfect example, but for all its faults, Nintendo is very good about not releasing unfinished games. They cook it.
I'm still trying to find the faults.
Yeah,
I mean, okay, their marketing department really messed up with the Wii U.
Yeah,
really messed up.
I think their
marketing department subsequently got sacked.
I think that my problem with them tends to be that they do not. They know that there's going to be a demand for things, and they do not supply that demand to create more of a demand.
I think
which they tease the audience.
I think that's heavily misrepresented. To be perfectly honest with you, having worked at a place and spoken to Nintendo reps, they say no. We prepared a lot. It's just that a lot of places, especially up here in the Northeast, the supply is limited because most of the product goes to the West Coast and like the bigger population states.
Well, yeah, because the main office is in, I think,
Nintendo of America is in Michigan. So
no, I mean the subsidiary is in Silicon Valley.
One of their branches is there, obviously, because that's where they import most of the stuff by boat.
That's where the warehouse is.
Okay, so what about the Amiibo debacle, though?
That was due to a shipping error in California. I
don't know. I just don't buy it. It's not perfect. It was perfectly done where it's created such a demand for Amiibos. And that demand's still there.
It didn't help that some fans just went out and just bought everything. And
that was the biggest issue. It wasn't that they didn't have enough. It's that people like that would go out and buy them all and then burn or bury them.
But suddenly, all these Amiibos have become like trading cards.
They're really not, though. Like, you have this idea of Amiibos that just isn't there. As somebody who owns almost all of them, it's really not. Like, you can go online and buy them for $15, $16.
All right, but still, with the initial mishandling of it, it was like trading cards. You have to admit at this point, everyone was going out of their way to try to find these things at smaller games.
I'm going to disagree with you there because trading cards is a whole nother ball game.
Yeah, you don't want to touch that one.
That is a worm. Well, we're going to touch it, but
not yet.
Anyway, let's take a quick break and we can come back to this. Because it's a really interesting topic, to be sure. But anyway, let's just put on a PSA or so, and then we'll come back and we'll talk some more nerdy, because that's exactly what we do best. Anyway, see you in just, I don't know. I can't find the PSA I want. Well, this is awkward.
I'm surprised you haven't put Kevin on.
Well, let's put Kevin on. Yeah, let's put Kevin on. I'll put Kevin on. Anyway, see you in a bit.
Kevin, your dad's gonna come down there. He wants to talk to you.
Now, Kevin, I've heard that you've been trying to summon the Satan with your friends. What is it? You kids down with the devil?
Tell him about the stains. Tell him I'm still cleaning up the stains from the last time.
Ugh. Don't you know anything, Ma? That wasn't Satan. It was Nurgle.
You're a massive disappointment, Kevin. All right, you go back to the car. I'll get down there and I'll be right back. Wait, what? There's nothing but toys and comics down here.
They are not toys. They're collectibles.
Whoa. I didn't even see you there. Wow, you are pasty. You like glow in the dark. Anyway, kid, you best scram. You don't want to mess with a guy like me, huh?
Psh, I ain't afraid of you. I've got mad ninja skills. Hit it, Evan.
Wait, what now? What's going on?
Katsuzo Kai!
What? Help! Paulie, get down here, help! Oh, God, I can't feel my legs!
You're on your own, Louie.
Sometime after my darling beat up the rabber. Oh my God, my precious baby defended our home all by himself. I'm so proud of you, Booba.
You know what, Kevin? I think this makes me somewhat proud of you.
Well, I had to. He called my collectibles toys. Can you believe it?
And now the moment's gone.
I take it all back. I have no son.
You are listening to WLMC Landmark College Radio out of Putney, Vermont. This is DJ Frost, and you are listening to Talkin' Nerdy, the nerdy talk show where I ask my guests to talk nerdy to me. I'm joined by DJ Bearman and DJ Orange, and we're having a nice conversation about stuff. Specifically nerdy stuff and things. Just saying. Anyway, I do want to bring up something that probably shouldn't bring up because it's a wormhole, but I'm going to anyway. Trading card games. Yeah, it's a wormhole, but it's a wormhole I've jumped down. I don't know how many times.
Yeah, you play the ones that don't actually have that many following yet.
No, that's half true. So I have Pokemon trading card game. That is the second most popular trading card game in the country.
True.
First is Magic the Gathering, which is a scourge upon trading card games because Wizards of the Coast is
it's pay to play.
Yes, exactly. At least with Pokemon, the most you'll ever pay for a card is like $20 normally, but that's for like a full art secret rare, crazy thing. Versus, okay, to be fair, there was a $60 card because it saw so much competitive play, and it was a full art secret rare. That's why. But besides that, I want to talk about the Evolution set, which is a reprinting of sorts of the original Pokemon set. So, it has the original art, original card style, and the original... It was such a throwback to my childhood that I had to buy it. And I bought a lot of it. I'm not sorry. It is amazing. I've almost completed the set, too.
Nice.
But actually...
I know some collectors that actually have volumes.
Right. Well, I've got a 2,000 card box that's almost full. Never mind that. I didn't say that at all. But no, the card game I actually wanted to talk about is called Force of Will.
You were telling me about this.
I was, and I want you to play with me.
I will. I just don't know if I want to. Well, I might, but I don't know if I want to fall back in the card wormhole.
Yeah,
the called hole.
Yeah, it's... Well, the thing of the game is they overproduced the crap out of it, so everything is super cheap. So if you want a card, it's like 15 cents.
Dang.
So, like, rares are 15 to 20 cents. They're not hard to get.
It's pretty bad.
It's good for the players. And it's really easy to get foil cards because there's 2 in every pack. And it's really gorgeous art because it's a Japanese card game, so they've got really high, quality animators and artists drawing the art in the anime-esque style. And the backstory, they've got a huge lore with it. Nothing so flimsy as Magic lore, but like full-on stories and manga that go with the game.
Dude, I don't know if you want to call Magic lore flimsy. That's a lot of people you'd make angry.
It's flimsy, and I will say it again, it's flimsy.
All right.
You just opened a kettle of fish.
Yes, I did. But it's flimsy in comparison to, like, Legend of Zelda lore, Pokemon lore. Heck, it's even flimsy compared to Fire Emblem lore, which is... Yeah. Fire Emblem lore is actually really good.
Or Dragon Quest lore.
Yeah, or even Dragon Quest lore. Yeah, it's pretty flimsy. They give you a few blurbs, but nothing more.
Yeah.
Now they have the novels, but that's novels. That's not lore. With the Force of Will lore, it's free on their website. You don't have to buy it, which is the way lore should be. Either it's gotten through the game, like a video game, or it's free from the people who want you to understand the cards.
So it's more like D&D lore.
Yes, it's exactly like that. You don't have to pay for it. And they put it up, and there's huge stories. It's like, it's almost like a fan fiction, except it's not fan fiction because it's written by the people. And there's actually, it's a little funny sometimes because it's translated directly from Japanese, and sometimes they're less than accurate with their translations.
Oh, never use Google Translate.
Well, they don't. They probably just hire some translators, but they rush it out a little bit. But it's really good, and the story is fantastic and amazing, and it's represented perfectly through the cards. Unlike Magic, where you're like, where does this guy even fit in? He's just a common. Every card has a story in this game. And the best part about it is the deck is 40 cards. And your lands or your mana producing stuff isn't in your deck. It's a separate deck that you can play with. Or that you play with. So you have a ruler who is kind of like a commander in EDH or commander, that style of Magic. You know the one?
Yeah.
So basically,
I know what you're talking about. It's something like Gwent.
A little bit, but
like,
you have
Witcher.
that. Yeah, sort of. You have that one ruler, and you can use that ruler to get magic stones onto your field, and those are used to pay for your spells and your people and stuff like that. And then you can also activate your ruler using something called Resonate, Resonate, which turns them into a resonator, which is their word for creature or fighter or whatever. Because creature is so somewhat limiting, believe it or not. Resonator makes a lot more sense because it covers pretty much everything. And you can have them, and when they come onto the field, they usually do something insane. So like my ruler, who I have, whenever it comes on, it gives all elves plus 400, which is a huge boost.
Dang.
Like the most you're going to get is maybe a 1200, and that's like the strongest thing. I mean, you can buff them, but if they get much bigger than that, there's a bad downside to it. So like the fact that these elves get this, and it's kind of a self-buff deck in and of itself to build. And this is just the starter deck. And so this game is very quick to play. You're not going to spend hours dragging out this long game. And you can play over and over, and every game is going to play out a little differently, even if you use the same cards. Because you can always switch up your ruler and have the effects of the deck change. Which I just think is awesome. And again, as I said, one of the biggest draws for me is the art. It is mostly full art, so there's not like a huge frame and then just a tiny little picture. No, the art goes to the edges of the card and down to the bottom of the card, and then the text is overlaid over it. And then when they have a full art version of the card, the text is just barely overlaid. You can see the text, but mostly the art shines through. And that is one of the biggest things that drew me to it.
When it comes to card design, you want to look for the art.
Yeah, you really do.
I'm a pretty big fan of the Wizard of the Coast art style, but I'm definitely interested in checking this out just for the art style.
Right. Wizards of the Coast has a history of treating their artists awfully.
That's unfortunate.
They really do.
Because the art I will buy a pack of Magic cards just to see the art sometimes. I will buy a pack of Magic cards just to see the art sometimes.
Yeah, no,
it's just that good.
You just get the book.
Yeah,
I could.
Or look it up online. Honestly, the artists get pennies for their work.
That's really sad.
And they get forced into contracts where they can only do work for Wizards. So it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Whereas the Japanese illustrators,
graphic artists.
Yeah, graphic artists or Illustrator, either or, are free to do whatever they want. And obviously a
They
lot
get
of them
to pick and choose.
pretty much they can choose who they want to work for. But a lot of them will keep working for the company because they keep giving them jobs,
Yeah.
Also, they want to keep the characters consistent.
Yeah.
I mean, but you can even see, like, there's a character design, but different artists do that character.
Yeah.
And it's really, really cool. The only other time I've seen something like this is Luck and Logic.
Yep.
Which is a Japanese card game, which is just making its way over. And it's an anime as well, because it's a Bushiroad game. And Bushiroad games almost always get anime.
Yeah.
Don't know why. Except for one, which is Weiss Schwarz, but that's because Weiss Schwarz is an anime card game.
Yeah.
But more on that another time. Anyway, Luck and Logic does a similar thing where an artist does all the art for one particular dimension or realm, so that they all look the same, and then a different artist will do it for a different realm using the same characters. So you can tell each realm is a little different, but you can tell who the characters are. And that's kind of what I really like. I love the quality of art when you're going to talk about a card game. And when you're going to do a card game, you got to do it right and make it fun. If it's not fun, one of the biggest flaws I found with Magic itself is a good card game. It plays well. It's for the most, it's strategic. It is generally balanced. My biggest hate with it was the players. They are giant meanies. That's not the word I wanted to use.
No, yeah, but you can't say that.
I figured.
No, they are just not the nice people.
No, and especially
they're not sportsmanlike, and a lot of it is just pay to play. Pay to win. Pay to win.
Especially the ones that drop like 150 on one deck.
Right. 150,000 on a deck even. Some people, I bought all full foils of this deck that won the championship. And then they're like, I can't possibly beat you with the deck that I threw together with the starter deck.
Unless you got the people that first played Magic and then have their original decks.
See, that's the
problem.
Right. I have a weird not reputation. I have a weird relationship with starter decks. I appreciate that they teach you the game, but in terms of like bringing them out, they're gonna be like bringing them out to play with for like tournaments and stuff like that. It's virtually impossible.
These people that just do it for fun.
Well, I will contend with that. Magic, that is true. Pokemon, you can win with a starter deck in Pokemon. In the Japanese card games, a starter deck is designed to win. In fact, people have won with starter decks in regional tournaments and national tournaments.
That's impressive.
Like the Weiss Schwarz system, all of their trial decks are good. They are very good. They synergize well. They are designed to be that way. And you won't actually find those cards most of the time in the card packs because they are separate. Luck and Logic does the same thing. Very good decks. You can win with them.
Do you remember the Yu-Gi-Oh starters back when it was all still about Yu-Gi and Kaiba?
You know what I found? I went home to visit my parents over the break.
Yeah.
And for some reason, whatever happened, my original Yu-Gi-Oh cards had been found. I have Dark Magician and Blue Eyes White Dragon.
First edition prints. Wow.
And they're not worth money, but
no.
But they made so many of them.
Yeah.
But I was just like, wow, I can't believe these exist still. I'm happy.
Well, going back to that though, you can't feasibly win with like in a professional tournament with a Kaiba starter deck or a Yugi starter deck.
Well, that's again, it goes back to Konami and Wizards not wanting you to win with starter decks. They want you to play and go, well, this wasn't winning. Let me buy more stuff.
Right. I mean, because like the thing about the starter decks with the Yu-Gi-Oh things is that most of the things that made those duelists special or able to win their like chief Magic cards were just gone.
Right. They were in packs that you had to go buy.
Right. So it was play to win.
Yeah. So again, what I really enjoy about the Japanese card games like Force of Will, Luck and Logic, and Weiss Schwarz is that I can buy a $15. Sorry, the first starter deck for Luck and Logic was $6.
That's not bad.
No, but the starter deck that they offer now for Force of Will, $15. Half of it is foil, and you get 3 packs and dice. That is the deal you get, and the packs already cost $3 a piece.
That's good.
So
deal.
You're paying $6 for the deck and $9 for 3 packs.
Well, that's a good deal.
The thing that we have to worry about with this though is that because of the overproduction, and that it's a collectible card game, will it have a long lifespan, do you think?
It's actually survived quite a while.
Oh, really? How long has it been out?
It's made it over here for a few years now, but in Japan it's been going strong. And they still do updates, and they keep releasing sets, so it's doing well enough for them to keep production.
Nice. I'm glad.
But anyway, yeah, it's a great game, and I'm going to try to convince you for the next ever to play with me.
All right.
Anyway, be back in just a bit. This is DJ Frost, and you are listening to Talkin' Nerdy, the nerdy talk show where I ask my guests to talk nerdy to me. I'm with DJ Orange and DJ Bearman, and boy, are we having fun.
Oh, yes, we are.
You know what? I just remembered something.
What's up?
We had a Star Wars movie drop over the break.
Yes, we did.
Rogue One.
Rogue One.
I have yet to see it, but you two seem to have enjoyed the movie quite a bit.
Yes, I did.
Oh, yes.
See, now I heard mixed reviews about it. I heard some people loved it and other people hated it.
I liked it better than Force Awakens.
Now that's saying something, because I heard that one was pretty well received.
Not to me.
That is totally fair. Opinions are what make the world go round.
It was better than the prequels.
Now, is this a fact or an alternate fact?
This is a fact.
Okay.
This, in the timeline as well, it's like after 3 and before 4.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that.
Oh, Rogue One.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Everything is better than the prequels. I'm sorry.
So
1, 2, and 3
that is a fact. That's not an alternate fact.
No. 1, 2, and 3 are just garbage.
Yeah.
I don't think I can get any flack for saying that. There's nobody who can disagree with it.
This is when the rebels decided to
Rebel.
Yeah.
Rebel.
This is like, okay, we're sick of this. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
common enemy.
All right. I mean, it's not that I don't want to see it. I'm just a broke college student, and going to the movie theater is hard.
It would be worth it.
I would wait till it comes out.
I'm just going to wait till it's on, like, a streaming site.
I'd say get the DVD. It's that worth it.
Okay.
Rogue One is probably one of my favorite Star Wars films. Potentially the first favorite.
Really?
Yeah. It takes a very dark look at the rebellion.
Oh, yes, it does.
And it's not a adventure movie. They didn't advertise it as that, so I'm happy this was advertised as to what it is. It is a dark movie.
It's basically lore.
Oh.
Yeah, it is. It puts the war in Star Wars.
Ooh. That sounds awesome. I heard parts of the trailer didn't actually make it into the film, though. Like,
No,
that.
but they were little things.
Oh.
One would have been an action sequence that I would have liked to have seen.
But I think they cut it because of time.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's cool. But anyway, I don't know. Part of me just really, I want to see it. I really do. I don't know.
It's definitely worth it. But you gotta go while you can, because it's probably not gonna be in theaters much longer.
Yeah, and theaters are hard to get to right now.
Yeah.
What'd you say? Sorry.
I said it would probably come out around when spring comes around.
That's actually true. Yeah. Movies, I remember back when I was a kid, if you saw a movie in the theater, you waited 8 months and then it came out on VHS.
Yep.
Now you wait about a week and it's on DVD or a Blu-ray.
Heck, you don't even have to do it in that much. Sometimes
I think it's like
they'll directly
less,
stream.
Yeah.
Depends on if it was a blockbuster.
I mean, even that. No,
I think I remember wasn't Finding Nemo in theaters for like a year.
Finding Nemo was also an incredible movie.
But yeah, Rogue One, definitely fantastic. Also has one of the most terrifying interpretations of Vader I have ever seen.
Well,
that is true.
What people fail to see is Vader was actually a bad guy.
Yeah.
He was really bad. He didn't just do a few bad things. He did all of the bad things. May I mention the fact that he killed a bunch of kids?
Not to mention Tarkin.
Right.
Ugh.
Well, we'll refrain from referencing the prequels. We'll talk about Vader as he truly is.
Right.
More machine than man, and not complaining about sand.
Right.
Yes, this movie treats Vader as incredibly fear-producing, that people in the Empire fear the mere mention of his name, even likenesses to him.
Even the cadets.
Yes, one character, there's a very, very subtle hint that he sees one character with a respirator and kind of freaks out because this noise sounds very similar to Vader's mask.
That's awesome.
So, like, that it has instilled that level of fear.
Interesting. Oh, yeah, no, this movie sounds pretty incredible.
And the
Placidus has ties to Rogue One. I mean, Star Wars Rebels.
Yes.
Does it?
Yes.
It does.
A couple characters do appear.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
Including the Ghost.
Actually, this also has ties to Clone Wars because a character from Clone Wars appears in it.
That's really... They're finally connecting all of the dots, basically.
Yes.
Very good. I'm very happy with this. It is enough to make me want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's saying something.
They reference several characters, and they just physically show one, who he is played by Forrest Whitaker.
Nice. That's pretty awesome, actually.
And his own interpretation of Rebel.
Right.
Interesting. Okay.
It's don't expect a happy movie.
No.
It's a war movie.
It is very much the Star Wars equivalent of Saving Private Ryan.
I was actually just thinking Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah. It's Saving Private Ryan in space.
But the interesting thing about the movie is the director actually found the old archiving things from the fourth movie.
Really? That's pretty... I also heard that they physically CGI reconstructed one of the old actors who had passed on.
Boy, that looks bad.
I heard it looked really good.
No, it didn't. It looked... No one can convince me otherwise. It was so jarring.
No, that whole scene was actually lost footage.
No, that wasn't.
No, it was CGI.
Yeah.
Oh, CGI.
It was Peter Cushing, right?
Yes, they CGI. It looked exactly like a video game, which wouldn't be too terrible.
You know they've got better technology than that.
Late PlayStation 3 video game. So
as I said, they have better technology than that.
I'll show you a picture. Continue the conversation, but I'm going to show you a picture. And
why don't you just show the DJ Frost people on the DJ Frost Facebook page?
Because I will, but I do want to get your grand reaction.
All right, fine. We're going to get a live reaction here. I heard it was good. I've been told it's bad. Let's see what it actually is. Okay.
No, it's a good story.
Here we go. I'm talking about the face of Peter Cushing. Oh, dear. Oh, no, he's zooming. You know what? That's not terrible. It's not as bad as you made it sound. I mean...
No, on a small screen, it's not that bad, but on a big screen...
It looked pretty bad.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, because it didn't look bad there. I mean, it's impressive for what they're trying to do.
But keep in mind, he's right next to real people. So imagine how jarring that looks.
That could be pretty jarring.
But the weird thing is that another character shows up, and the CGI done on them to make them look younger was pretty much impeccable. They looked almost exactly like they did.
Huh. So maybe it was just the fact that he was... It was just the fact that he was pretty jarring.
I don't know what happened. I really don't. Just one character looked fine.
Maybe
the other one just...
Maybe it's how it was processed on the screen. Because I guess it might have depended on the screen you saw it on. Because from what I can understand, a few people who I've spoken to, it looked great on the screens they watched it. So, and that's entirely possible.
Maybe it's an IMAX thing. Maybe it was made for IMAX.
It might be that.
It also looked better in 3D.
Yeah.
I did not see... I refuse to see 3D movies. For the same reason... Okay, there's two reasons for this. One, I'll get a headache. Two, I spent $16 to see Avatar, Blue People Avatar, in 3D. It was the biggest waste of money I have ever used.
Avatar 3D.
They're coming out with a second one.
I know.
They're coming out with 4. They're making this a quadrilogy. That was counting your chickens before they hatched.
Really, because it made so much money. Yeah, but now people are over it and have decided the movie's awful.
Yeah, they haven't decided it's awful, but they were like, this plot was very, very meh.
This plot was a rehash of Shakespeare.
It was a
rehash. You know who's rehashed Shakespeare? Everybody and their mother.
I don't even think it was a rehash of Shakespeare. It was just like, hey, let's put Pocahontas, Halo, and Smurfs together.
Pocahontas was a rehash of Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No,
it's
Yeah, it is Disney Pocahontas, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. All right. You know what? That's fair.
No, there's an obscure movie that was animated back in the day, which was called Fern Gully.
Oh, Fern Gully's not obscure. That had Robin Williams in it, dude.
Yeah.
But it was basically what Avatar was.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they ripped off so many other movies. The plot wasn't original, and the theatrics were, yeah, they're cool, but like cool to see once and never ever again.
You really got to step up your game if you want to bring it
They
back.
ripped off the metal from the X-Men, for crying out loud.
Pretty much.
Unobtainium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which also, that's a great name. Unobtainium.
But is it really unobtainable? Because
No, apparently not, because there's just a giant tree there.
Exactly. And then it's like, dude,
Also,
no.
like, there's really a lot of
There's a lot of holes in the story.
There is
too.
a lot. Did you think that by appearing as one of the Na'vi, that they would just be like, "Oh, okay, here, just knock this giant tree over, and take all our stuff"?
Yeah, really, what were they thinking?
I don't know.
They weren't.
But James Cameron is saying that each new sequel will focus on a different biome of the world of Pandora, which I'm interested in. I feel like the world is actually more interesting than the characters.
Yes,
But
but
we
it's
saw the jungle, so there's the ocean and all the other ones.
There's
but
the
you know
ocean,
what?
the
Don't charge me
plains.
all kinds of money to see it, because just put it online and people will be like, that's really cool.
With the amount he's spending on it.
I don't care. You know what? He had Titanic. I'll give him that. But like,
Terminator.
yeah, no, he had some great movies. Avatar is not one of them.
Avatar is all right, but it's not.
It's not.
It's not a masterpiece anymore.
It's not. It was never.
Do you remember going way back when there were people suffering from they wanted to be Na'vi? This was an actual thing. They would get like augments to
I'm
their
like-
person.
Well, that's because people are really, really susceptible to media stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's take a really, really quick break. See you in just a few. This is DJ Frost, and you are listening to Talkin' Nerdy, the nerdy talk show where I ask my guests to talk nerdy to me. I'm joined by DJ Orange and DJ Bearman, and we're having a great time talking shop in a basement, just
Yes,
like
we
nerds do.
Yep.
We are the quintessential nerds, really.
We're
The nerdiest of nerds.
we're that TV show that those guys watch. You know, the ones about the nerds.
Yeah,
All of them.
that one.
Yeah, that one. What do you think of that one?
That's not a bad show, actually.
Huh.
Or it was. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it's not bad. It wasn't bad in the beginning. It's now kind of gotten...
I thought it was really good in the beginning.
Yeah, it was amazing in the beginning, and now it's just kind of gotten...
Worse.
It's gotten too used to itself.
Sitcom-y.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like more sitcom-y than before.
Exactly.
A really bad sitcom is when it gets self-aware.
Right.
Like, it's like, yeah, we're a sitcom. Deal with it.
Like, nerd humor can only go so far.
Yeah, no, I hate to say it, but humor can only save you for a little bit.
I mean, it's great if you have original story behind it and make it worthwhile, but...
Well, sitcoms all have expiration
So let's just
dates.
clarify. I think we're talking about the Big Bang Theory,
Yes,
right?
we
okay.
are.
Let's get that out there. People are going, what are you talking about?
It spawned its own board game.
It's
Clue.
on a
It's-
lot
yeah,
of things.
There's a Big Bang
No,
Theory clue.
trivia.
I think
game.
the
where you
like,
have to win arguments by playing rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock.
That's actually kind of fun.
I think I got really upset once at Comic-Con because we were walking around and I saw this kid taking a picture with a cutout of Sheldon Cooper. Like, he knows they're actually like really big celebrities here, right? Like
Right, seriously. Yeah.
a cutout. And this isn't like, oh, a Comic-Con exclusive. This is like, you could find this in a Bull Moose.
or a Target or a Walmart or any store, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right? No, Bull Moose wouldn't put something like that up. Probably not.
I like to think that Bull Moose has a bit more self-respect.
They
but
do. They really
I
do.
could see Legend of Zelda or Doctor Who.
I got it. So an example of this is I went to Warhammer World in Nottingham, England. Back when I was in my first or second year of college, maybe. It was 2012. Yes, that's when I went. And in there they have a life-size statue of a space marine. I took a picture with that.
That's fair.
That is awesome. Like, I didn't come up to it. I came up to its like belt.
If it's a cardboard cutout,
No.
save the data.
Yeah.
But if it's alive,
It
if it's
was
like
a
a wax
statue.
if it's a wax statue, if it's this where I assume it was like,
It was probably some sort of polystone.
then
You remember
take that picture.
You remember the small ones that they did the really nice collectible 40K Space Marine ones?
Yeah.
It was that but bigger.
Oh.
It was gorgeous. Gorgeous.
And if you know, I really like to think that they'll sell you one enough. If you pay enough money, they'll sell you one, and you can paint it whatever color you want.
No, I took my picture in front of a Star Wars Lego figure, Star Wars Lego figurine, but it was at
The
Lego
huge
World.
one?
Yeah, it's the life-size ones.
Yeah, but it was Vader.
Yeah,
that's the thing you
cool.
take a picture of.
That's cool.
not a cardboard cutout.
And you're at
sorry.
Comic-Con. You're at Comic-Con. There's way cooler stuff you could do.
You
There's
take
cosplayers.
pictures of cosplayers.
To be fair, if it's anything like Rhode Island Comic Con, which I went to, they charge you up the you-know-what just to take a picture.
I know, but still, there's cosplayers around. You don't even have to go up to the professional ones. You just be like,
Like-
hey, Joker, can I have a picture?
Right. There's also the 501st usually, and they're awesome. They cosplay Star Wars on a pro level.
Yeah, they
for
do-
charity.
Yeah, they do charity stuff. I remember
It's
you
amazing.
talking to us about this.
The
They're-
501st Stormtroopers.
Yeah, and they also have a rebel side as well. So they've got one for the stormtroopers, one for the rebels. It's awesome. But yeah, no, it's I understand your anger.
I mean, it's more like, come on, dude.
It's more like a face
You
palm.
knew enough, like. Your parents and you are obviously invested enough to come to Comic-Con, because I would have I would have freaked out as a kid about that. But like, you know enough. But it's like, these are fairly common things. I've seen, like, you see these cardboard cutouts of like Big Bang Theory characters everywhere. Does it warrant taking a picture with it?
No, it doesn't.
Because, like, I don't know if I'm like coming across as kind of harsh, but it's a cardboard cutout.
No, it's on the ridiculous side. It's like those people who take selfies in bathroom mirrors.
You know what? I'm fine with that too. Like, hey, if you're proud of yourself, go ahead. But like,
Not in the bathroom.
It's-
Come on.
people do what people do. But it's a cardboard cutout of a character from a TV show. It's not like they built a Lego replica. It's not a wax leprecha.
Leprecha?
Yeah, leprecha.
What about a leprechaun?
Leprechaun? It's not a leprechaun. You can't take a picture of it.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you
Messy.
can take.
It's not a crypto creature.
Yeah, it's not messy. It's not. It didn't take talent to build. Well, maybe it took some talent to build.
No,
but
it's called a picture printed out on cardboard.
sure. But point being, it's a cardboard cutout. Come on, guys.
Right.
Take a picture of a leprechaun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you can
I've
find
seen
one.
Stranger Things.
I like that show too. Ba-dum-bum.
I was actually just thinking of that joke.
That show is good, by the way.
Is it?
Oh, it's really
A lot
good.
of the Netflix
Interesting.
series are getting good.
Oh, they've been good for a while. I really
Yeah.
recommend Stranger Things, though. It's about 6 hours show.
Yeah. You know what?
for get through all of it.
My biggest thing with Netflix
Hmm?
is they're getting rid of all the good stuff. Like, their original stuff is great, don't get me wrong, but I want the other stuff. Like, the anime they used to have tons and tons of, and now it's just nothing.
But you get to watch Zombievers, and Netflix presents
No.
Columbia.
Just no.
Like, hey, man, trade.
Just no.
I mean, on the plus,
Netflix presents White Rabbit Project.
yeah,
That's going to be incredible.
that's already out.
That's already out.
Oh, Tori Belleci, Granda Mahara, and Carrie Byron.
I've
again.
watched all of them.
How is it good?
Yes.
See, the thing is that I think Netflix kind of realizes that Crunchyroll has the anime market tapped.
They do and they don't. I mean, well, they do. They do. Because now they have Funimation on board too.
Exactly.
But no. But it doesn't matter. Like, we switched to Crunchyroll because they got rid of it. We would not have gotten rid of Netflix if they hadn't gotten rid of their anime.
Yeah, but you're producing your own original series now, which will draw its own thing. I mean, I guess you can afford to lose some anime series if you have, like, Daredevil, Luke Cage,
Right.
The Punisher,
And there's a few other ones.
Jessica Jones, which is awesome, by the way. Really,
Right,
really
they-
depressing, but really an amazing story.
Soon the Defenders and now Iron Fist.
Iron Fist, the
Right.
Defenders.
That's going to be really good, actually.
You could probably make enough bank on the Marvel movies to, like,
Not to mention
to justify losing,
Well,
like...
That's the other thing. They're getting rid of movies, and they're not licensing good ones.
No, they're not. I will agree with you on that.
Like,
there are
Netflix
some bad
was
ones on there.
Netflix was a movie service, Now they've got no movies.
I remember they used to have like the entire, or at least a very good selection of the Batman animated movies, like Batman Year One, Batman versus the Red Hood.
They had amazing movies. They had every season of the A-Team. They had everything like that. And now they've got their original series and
a lot of failed British comedies.
But British comedies are funny.
No,
the failed ones. The ones that like lasted a season, and not because it's like that's what we do. Because some British shows, they're like, we're only going to do this for a season or two.
Right. Well, like the IT Crowd, bloody fantastic show, very nerdy, very funny. The guy is well known. Wow, I just hit the thing. I deafened myself once an episode. We did it.
Hey, we're bringing it back.
Anyway, no. The creator, I think his name is Graham Lanham. He did Father Ted. He did IT Crowd. Very amazing guy. He only writes until he's out of ideas. Then he wraps it up and moves on because he's not milking things.
Same thing with John Cleese and Fawlty Towers.
Right. He didn't milk it. He wrote it. He did it, and then that was it because he got it out there.
I think they had the entire series of Blackadder on there, which is a really funny series.
Yes, it is.
It details. I think it's like a reincarnation of the same character
over and over and over through time.
Yeah, throughout different time
and
periods.
The last season was when they were in World War I.
Yeah, I mean they still have some good stuff, but like you go through it in a few days and you're like, done.
Yeah.
What do I do now? See, at least with Crunchyroll, I get my shows. As they air. And I'm never behind on the things I want to watch. And God forbid they don't have one while there's streaming services for anime. Not like paid services, but they are existed.
This is why I also have Amazon Prime.
Well, yeah. Prime, too. They have a surprising amount of stuff.
I've been watching the Grand Tour.
Is it good?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, they have their own original stuff because Amazon can do whatever the crap they want.
Every streaming service nowadays, if you're a paid streaming service, you gotta have like
original content.
You gotta have your own. Crackle has its own original content. Like Crackle, the sidebar of this all.
No,
I mean, granted, it's a movie with Charlie Sheen, who seems to be the
Yahoo even has some things.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, basically, what it boils down to is cable is dying. Cable TV is just dying.
Yeah.
Except for the ones that are...
You mean like HBO? But that's a paid service.
Yeah, but HBO
I mean
doubles
like
as a paid
CW.
service.
What?
CW.
But CW is doing it smart. They put it online for free. All of their stuff. And then people go, oh, I can watch it online too? I don't have to pay $70 a month for cable?
Even PBS, Public Broadcasting Television, they put their stuff online.
Right. And yet, all the other companies are really like, no, it has to be on cable. And then you've got the bad cable companies, and you got the
you got the Fox and all the other ones.
Right, you have cable companies.
Yeah, I'm surprised about that. Fox doesn't have a streaming service.
I'm glad.
I don't really know what they'd stream. They just kind of supplement out to Netflix.
Pretty much.
Because, man, some of those failed Fox comedies.
Woo! Right. Well, Firefly was a failed Fox show.
It wasn't a failed Fox. It wasn't a comedy, though.
There were some funny bits.
Failed comedies.
You mean like Arrested Development?
No. Hey.
It did fail.
Yeah. All right, fair. But it wasn't...
failed the same way Firefly failed because Fox didn't support it.
Yeah, I'm talking about like the... Hey, oh, God. I'm trying to... It was a Jonah Hill comedy.
Oh, that... Oh.
It was an animated one. I don't know if you remember it.
Yeah, vaguely.
It was bad. Chosen. Do you remember Chosen?
Yeah, the failed ones.
The Napoleon Dynamite series.
Yeah, no, I didn't like Napoleon Dynamite to begin with. I didn't want a spin-off. I didn't.
You got it. Not for long, but you got it.
Right. That's the thing. That's why Fox doesn't have a streaming service. They don't have enough good stuff.
They stick with Family Guy.
Like, the CW has every episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway up there for free. Every episode. The ones with Drew Carey, the one with Aisha Tyler. They've got it all.
I love Aisha Tyler.
Plus all the TV shows that I have to do with the DC.
Yeah, they've got it all. That's fine. They have a good reason for a streaming service. Fox doesn't. Not many channels don't. That's why they're,
getting
cable.
Yeah. If Discovery Channel were to get a streaming service, they would get business.
Watch that.
Science Channel even if
National Geographic has one.
Yeah, I know, right? if they jump on it, cable will die, and then people won't want it anymore, which is great because then you can pick and choose what you want instead of getting a bunch of stuff for nothing.
Well, I think we're a prime example of this sort of thing. I mean, regular
Nerds
radio.
have done it. Nerds have done it for ages, right? We pick our streaming services.
Yeah. I mean, this is radio's moving to the internet. We're a prime example of that.
But radio isn't dying over the
it's
airwaves
not,
either.
It's not dying, but it's...
Like cable is dying. Radio is still strong because people actually listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, but still,
So
we're
that
also
song is not true.
most radio stations move into internet broadcasting.
Because more people can get to it. That's
smart.
the point.
Also, tell us if there's a Fox broadcasting, if there's a Fox streaming service, because
I don't think there is. And you know what? I don't want to know.
I want to though. I gotta know. Like, what do they put up there?
You know what? They put up the failed ones, but only the failed ones.
I gotta watch that one season of Napoleon Dynamite.
No, you don't.
I don't even know if that was Fox.
Anyway, be back in a bit. This is DJ Frost, and you are listening to Talkin' Nerdy, the nerdy talk show where I ask my guests to talk nerdy to me. And I'm with DJ Orange and DJ Bearman, and we're going to wrap things up tonight by talking about something which I had forgotten about for the longest time.
Innocence.
That's been gone for ages.
Wow.
Yeah, no. I'm talking about Atlantis, the Lost Kingdom.
Oh, yeah.
That old school Disney movie that came out late 90s, early 1000s, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
It must have been late 90s, I think. Gotta be.
It was early 2000s.
Early 1000s, yeah.
I'll look it up.
I got this.
Let's place our bets first.
I think it was the 90s.
I'm going to say 2001.
You're correct! 2001.
What do I win?
The right to talk about this more.
Okay, I'll take it.
Anyway, yeah, no. Apparently, it's only got a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, but it's...
But you know what? Amazon, it's got a 4.5 out of 5.
Hey, there you go.
IMDb gave it a 6.10. But these are people who are like, man, I didn't want this. No, you stop that now. It's a great movie. I don't want to hear it.
Look, we also want to point out there that these are just our opinions. Granted, this is pretty... I think
it's a talk show.
I think
we do our opinions.
I think the three of us agree that it's a great thing. So, rating systems that are, fan based, they're going to bring it down. We recommend it, but
That's because it's the critics that go after it.
yeah, for all I know, that there's somebody who loved Napoleon Dynamite season 1. Probably not, but still.
No.
No, but the thing I love about Atlantis isn't... It was the realness of it. I mean, it obviously was hugely fake. Giant submarines in the early 1900s? No. Magic Kingdom under the sea? No. What it did have was the reality of going on a giant expedition.
And beautiful animation.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, we just got it, and it looks fantastic in Blu-ray. They did a really good job.
Yeah.
I gotta buy that on Blu-ray.
It was like $15 for both it and the second one. Which the second one I've never seen. I've heard it's not worth watching, but I still want to watch it.
No, it's interesting.
It's The Mummy 2.
The Mummy 2 wasn't terrible.
Please do not bring up the Mummy because they're remaking it.
Yeah, with Tom Cruise.
You know what? As a side note, I hate Tom Cruise. Continue.
Okay. All right, moving on. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's not do that.
I wonder
okay,
if,
Google, you're betraying me. Let's just say don't Google without safe search on Atlantis.
Okay.
Apparently somebody turned safe search off on the computer here.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Atlantis has probably one of the most interesting color schemes that I've ever seen in an animated movie.
Right? It's got a unique style, too, just for the character design.
This industrial dark gray with this bright neon blue and lava
Right?
red.
It's gorgeous.
And the water's murky but clear.
Well, it depends on where they are, but
Right,
yes.
right.
And I love the animation of the beams that the Atlantean machines fire. They're like a white pearlescent, but it's kind of colored sparkles around.
It's gem power.
Yeah, it's like some sort of weird gem power. It's awesome. I think they did an amazing job with it.
Yeah.
And the characters are lovable. I mean, you hate them, most of them at first. You love Milo from the beginning because he's Milo.
Yeah, he's Michael J. Fox.
I like Mole.
Mole is... Yeah, I like Mole too. But each of the characters is unique. and you hate them, but then there's such character growth in such a short movie when you think about it.
I think, going back, I think that the sequel was intended to be something bigger.
They put more comedy in it.
Yeah,
It was more kid-friendly, I think.
No,
you'd be
no.
surprised.
Really?
It was more like played for yucks, but it was...
Especially the guy that loves dynamite and makes his own dynamite, and he puts a little oregano in it.
Well, that's him.
It's, yeah. It wasn't. I think it was intended to be something a bit bigger. It was.
Right.
I think they were trying to make a series out of it.
Well, because
Yes,
the first
they
one,
were.
The
That's
first
what
one did so well. That's why. They didn't expect it to, but it did. But the thing that struck me about it, it was so dark. The first, The Lost Empire. Because, they're on the submarine. The Leviathan attacks. People are dying left and right. You don't see that in a kid's movie often, especially since, what was its rating again? I think it was like PG.
I think it was PG-13.
No, it was PG.
Oh.
It's a PG movie where they lose 300 people on this expedition.
Yeah.
It's like 300 people die. They see people die.
There hasn't been a dark one like that since Pocahontas.
Actually, stuff
Right.
like that's been coming back. The regular show just made a joke about it for their series finale. It was really good. But yeah, cartoons are getting a bit more comfortable with showing death again.
I mean, the 90s was just rampant with this stuff.
Oh yeah, we didn't really even have the rating system until
No.
Gremlins.
Wasn't it like we had Ren and Stimpy, we had Rocko's Modern Life? That was like...
Which is coming back.
Is it really?
They're rebooting it.
Can we not, please?
Reboot or sequel?
Reboot.
Can we please not do that?
Reboot of all the following things that happened in the 80s and 90s.
Because it was better than what we're coming up with now.
Yo, remember that Knight Rider reboot?
I don't want to talk about it.
No.
But anyway, it got me thinking, though, what are some other, like, Disney movies from back then that just flew under the radar but were just amazing?
Treasure Planet.
Right. Yes.
That was beautifully animated.
Of course.
The Adventures of Sinbad.
Yes.
Yes.
See here. I think back in the day.
I mean, those are kind of the classics when you think of underrated animated movies.
Well, the Little Mermaid.
Oh,
that was so mainstream.
That was mainstream.
Mainstream enough to have 2 sequels?
3.
Yes.
3 sequels. None of which were good.
Well, there's 2. There was 1 sequel, and then there was another sequel, and then the third one was a prequel.
Yeah, again, none of them were good or worth
Prequel.
mentioning. Just like The Lion King was amazing, and then its sequel and others...
1.5.
Then there was 2. No, it was bad. Just Disney... That was when Disney realized they could try to milk their really good things from the 90s, and it didn't work.
Well, especially now since everything's going live action.
I don't want to talk about that right now. It makes me upset. It hurts me right here. I know you can't see where I'm hitting, but it hits me in the heart.
Except for Beauty and the Beast.
No, it's getting a live action read.
But it's got Emma Watson in it.
Yeah.
It's getting good reviews, though.
I think if they do it right, it'll be okay. If they don't do it right,
I just really don't have any interest in seeing it.
yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
The thing about certain edginess is like kind of edginess, like
Mulan?
showing the Beast as
Mulan.
a beast. Yeah,
Mulan is one of those underrated. It's memeified now, unfortunately. With the Huns and all that. But
to be fair, it gave it
And
recognition.
I'll make a
It
man
did.
out of you.
yeah, that whole thing.
That song's great.
It's an amazing song. That movie needs to be more mainstream. Actually, I'm sounding like a hipster.
They got a sequel.
Stop me! I'm sounding like a hipster.
No, you're right though.
But I am right. It needs more recognition.
And it did get a sequel.
It did it.
Yeah.
Was it good?
No.
All the sequels, no.
I don't think they've ever made a good sequel for any of the good movies.
Except if it was 3D animated.
No, just no. I don't think I've ever seen a good classic movie Disney movie sequel. Never.
But Bambi 2.
There was a Bambi 2?
You
There
don't
was a
remember
Fox
that?
and a Hound, too.
Why?
Yeah, Bambi 2 fills in what Bambi was, the training that Bambi got in the between him
No.
being a child and growing up.
No, just no.
This
Just
is
no.
canon.
I can't curse right now and it's bugging me.
Just
Plus all the Cinderella sequels.
yeah, the one where sister's mean and then nice and then mean again in the sequel.
Oh my God, we forgot Hercules. Hercules was an amazing movie.
Hercules got got an animated prequel series that was pretty fun. Aladdin got 3 sequels.
I don't care.
And a TV show.
And a TV show, which crossed over with the Hercules show.
I don't want to hear it. I want the movies to be the movies, and I want them to stop making crappy sequels.
But the Hercules
That's what
sequel,
bad.
Was that a sequel?
It was bad.
I actually don't know.
It was really
No,
bad.
it was an animated.
I know there was an
When he
animated
goes to
prequel.
high school.
Yeah, where Herc goes to high school.
It was bad.
He goes to high school. He wants to work at Hero World, but he ends up working at Hero World.
You know, Emperor's New Groove.
That got a sequel, a prequel.
No, it got a
sequel.
TV show.
Yeah,
The
sequel.
TV show,
And
I
a
will
sequel.
admit, was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
The Emperor's,
Actually got 2 sequels.
but they weren't very good.
Yeah, they got the Emperor's
Krunk's New Groove.
Yeah, no, they're
Kronk's New Groove.
Yeah, Kronk's New Groove.
You know, I like Patrick Warburton a lot.
Everyone does.
He's awesome.
It's just his voice.
Well, yeah, but also he in what was that? Engage something. What's the name of that show that he was in with David Spade? Rules of Engagement. That was a good show until they again fell prone to the sitcom plague.
Yeah,
But,
everyone does.
But
there's
it's
no
Patrick
shame
Warburton.
in it.
No.
There's no shame in it.
Like Lethal Weapon now.
Oh, I've heard Lethal Weapon's really good.
Well, the original one.
No, the TV series.
Oh, they made a TV series.
It's apparently really good.
Oh, well, at least they're doing something right.
And then there's the movie that nobody wants to mention that's coming out, and why are they making a movie?
Dragon Ball Evolution 2.
No.
Don't even joke about that.
That was planned.
No, I'm talking to one about everything that we have on our phones.
Oh, the Emoji Movie. You know
when Hollywood's just died when they're making movies out of emojis.
guys, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's being directed by the director of Deadpool.
Tim Miller, yeah.
Yeah.
Tim Miller is just such a disappointment. He made such an amazing movie and then left because they wouldn't give him a bigger budget. Like, Mr. Prima Donna needs to calm down and make the Deadpool second movie.
I mean, there's mixed reports on it. Ryan Reynolds reportedly wanted to keep it as a scrappy underdog.
Not to
kind
mention
of movie.
the other-
Which is fine. That's the way it's supposed to. That's how Deadpool operates.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's the way Deadpool operates.
I mean,
Plus, there's the other one that's coming out, which is the Power Rangers reboot.
I don't know. Bryan Cranston.
yeah, but I mean,
Bryan Cranston's
They're
really.
look
already
forward to
selling
him in-
toys.
I want to say it this way though. We looked forward to him in Godzilla 2. And do you remember how long he was in that for? Exactly. It was bad, man. I mean, this was hot off the heels of Breaking Bad.
They should have given him more time.
He should have been the main character.
That's very true.
I don't care about Quicksilver.
No, I don't. No.
I don't care about Scarlet Witch.
No.
I want to see Bryan Cranston
Yep.
team up with Godzilla
Yep.
to fight giant mosquitoes.
I want Bryan Cranston to be Godzilla. He gets angry.
We gotta end the show on that note.
No, he gets okay. He starts out as Bryan Cranston and then gets bitten by
A radioactive Godzuki.
yes, exactly. And then when he gets angry, or just whenever he wants to, turns into Godzilla. I'm just saying it'd be pretty awesome.
Sure.
I bet you he could pull it off.
It has to be played completely straight, though.
He would play it straight. He is the ultimate straight man. But he actually loves comedy. Though.
He's a great comedic
He's
actor.
awesome. But he's so good at playing the straight man. Yeah. Anyway, that is the name of this episode. I've decided Bryan Cranston should be Godzilla.
All right.
Thank you all so much for listening. This has been DJ Frost,
DJ Bearman.
DJ Orange.
and you've been listening to Talking Nerdy.